for us. And as we said, it's a nationwide problem. It's not just in the Eastern Cape or the Western Cape, but all the provinces are affected.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're highlighting it because, you know, sometimes you find yourself taking it for granted that here we live in Joburg, everything's fine, but it isn't. It really isn't fine. This water situation is a big problem and we all need to be very, very vigilant about it. So we'll continue to talk about this for the next couple of minutes here on the program. But there's just one issue I want to bring up here, just that the Hawks have come forward and said, I'm sure you have seen a lot of media reports
over the weekend
coming out saying that there are going to be some imminent arrests happening anytime soon. Probably by, with the Gupta brothers. Yes. One of them may be arrested. Even the minister may be arrested. We're talking about Minister Zwane. Well, officials from the Hawks have come through and said, please stop with this reporting. They have refuted media reports over the imminent arrest of anybody at this stage right now, particularly of the Gupta brothers and their associates. What the Hawk spokesperson says, that's Hangwani Mulaadzi, is saying, I don't know who their sources are, and it's totally unacceptable while we're still busy with investigations. That there are people busy writing stories about other people that are going to be arrested where and for what, he says. Yeah. It's really, really confusing. And we really need to be very, very careful about what we speak about. If you need an answer, phone us. Yeah. Don't phone your sources. That's what the Hawks are saying right now.
I remember that what he said was basically to say that watch the space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bigger things are to happen.
Well, I suppose,
watching.
And everybody's speculating now about the bigger things that are happening. Anyway, that was this morning. I think you may have been speaking to our colleagues on SAFM, and that's just what we've got now. So I think we're going to go back now to
Let's
Eastern
just go
Cape.
back to Butterworth in the Eastern Cape. That is where reporter Busisiwe Jemsana is, of course, covering the devastating situation over the water crisis in the Eastern Cape. Good morning to you once again, Busi.
Morning once again, Palisa, and indeed we are coming to you from Butterworth, the most affected area in the Eastern Cape, in the Amatole region. You know that it is the Amatole region, Raymond Mhlaba and the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality that are most affected in the province. The problem of water or drought in the province did not start in the recent months, but as early as 2015, the people of the Eastern Cape, in particular those in Butterworth, have been feeling the pinch of drought. They have been living with water outages. They have been going in and out of level 0, reaching that level 0, dams running dry, and the rain does not seem to rain. Earlier we spoke to residents who said they are still feeling the pinch of drought. In fact, that is something that they have never heard of, the worst that they have ever experienced, while talking to the 80-year-old Nowaineti Mbaipeli. But Palesa, there is another critical sphere in this community, the school. We are in one of the schools in Bika Township, and we are going to chat to the principal just to get a sense of how the water shortages have affected the school. Principal, thank you so much for joining us. The village started feeling the pinch in 2015. As the school, when did you feel the drought, the pinch of the drought, and how has it affected the running of the school?
Well, as from 2015, that's when we started to feel the pinch of the drought in this area. You will recall that we have a nutrition program that is run by the Department of Education. Now it becomes difficult for the ladies who work there in the kitchen to cook because now and again there is a shortage of water, and it becomes worse when it comes to the toilets because we cannot operate our toilets because this is a township. We cannot operate our toilets without water. Many a time we have had to have a situation where we were forced to cut short our classes because of the shortage of water. This adversely affects, of course, the program of teaching, and learning. So now and again, we do feel it, and even now, we are in the program of converting our toilets so that they become pit toilets because we cannot run the school without water. The toilets that we have now, they use water in order to run. Now, without that water, it becomes difficult for the students to relieve themselves. It also becomes worse even for the teachers, because without water, teachers themselves cannot relieve themselves, and there is a shortage of drinking water. We have had to use tanks, but the problem with the tanks is that they are now and again vandalized by the same students. So that is the situation that we are currently facing.
And how are you dealing with that? Are there any plans, measures put in place? I was chatting to the learners earlier on who said they have to bring their own water bottles to school. Tell us about that.
Well, we also have been hiring buckets to bring water to the school so that at least there is drinking water. But the worst problem that we encounter is the one that relates to the because without water there will always be problems. Look, one of the programs that we have at the school is the study classes, the afternoon classes. So what has been happening is that we have been forced to cut short some of the programs because grade 10 can no longer attend the afternoon classes so that we have water for the grade 11s and grade 12s in the afternoon, drinking water. Yeah, so the situation is as bad as that. Yeah.
Principal, a sad situation indeed. Thank you so much for your time, and we're hoping that a solution will emerge soon enough. Palesa, you heard it yourself. They are now on a mission to convert their flushing toilets to pit toilets because of the dire situation that they are faced with. They've had to cut the grade 10 afternoon classes so that at least grade 11 and 12 can be able to cope and they can be able to use the very little water that they have for drinking and for their toilets. That's the situation in the Eastern Cape, Palisa. That is the situation in Butterworth. This is just some or one of the many schools that are struggling to continue with their daily businesses. Not only the schools, but also clinics. We were earlier in a local clinic where the patients were saying that whenever they would visit the clinic,